Ever wondered how the wealthy build and sustain their wealth? When observing the top 1%, it's easy to think it's merely luck, like winning the lottery or receiving a hefty inheritance. However, the truth is far more systematic. They adhere to a specific philosophy. Today, we'll discuss the 3 hidden rules about money that the wealthy follow daily. These principles are not typically taught in conventional education. They consist of behavioral, psychological, and structural frameworks. Understanding these concepts can completely transform how you perceive every dollar that enters your bank account. Let's delve into these secrets together. The first invisible rule is straightforward, yet contrasts sharply with the mindset of most people. Invest before you spend. The standard trap: most individuals follow a conventional financial routine. They receive their paycheck, pay rent or a mortgage, buy groceries, dine out, and purchase clothes. At the month's end, they check what's left and think, "I'll save or invest whatever remains." The issue? There is rarely anything left. The consumer culture is designed to capture your leftover funds through clever advertising, impulse purchases, and lifestyle inflation. The wealth formula. In contrast, the wealthy flip this formula. They employ the strategy of paying yourself first. When they receive $1, a predetermined percentage, be it 10%, 20%, or 50%, is immediately allocated to an investment vehicle before settling any bills or lifestyle expenses. They intentionally constrain themselves to live on the remaining amount. If a luxury item cannot be bought with that remainder, they simply do not purchase it. How to automate it? You don't rely solely on willpower for this. That can waver when you're exhausted or stressed. Instead, consider automation. Set up direct deposits. Create a system where a segment of your paycheck goes straight to a secondary investment account. Schedule automatic transfers. Have your primary bank account automatically shift funds into index funds, mutual funds, or high-yield savings accounts on the day you're paid. Conceal the funds. If the money isn't visible in your checking account, you'll become accustomed to living without it. This effective strategy turns wealth building from a monthly emotional battle into a seamless utility. The second rule may be the most commonly misunderstood principle in personal finance: leverage debt wisely. Good debt versus bad debt. Culturally, we consistently hear that all debt is inherently bad and should be avoided. While avoiding debt can protect you from financial disaster, it simultaneously restricts your ability to increase wealth. The wealthy perceive debt differently, not as a burden, but as a financial instrument. They categorize debt into 2 groups: bad debt, borrowing money for declining value items or expenses that don't generate income. This includes credit card debt for clothing, high-interest loans for vacations, or financing an extravagant car you can't afford. Such debt jeopardizes your future cash flow. Good debt. Borrowing funds at a low interest rate to purchase an asset that yields a higher return than the cost of the debt. The power of arbitrage. Imagine borrowing $100,000 at a 5% interest rate from a bank. If you invest this in a rental property or business generating an 8% return, you earn a 3% profit on money you didn't even own initially. This principle is financial arbitrage. Instead of saving for a decade to gather $100,000, the wealthy utilize the bank's funds to acquire assets immediately. This strategy enables them to accumulate wealth far more rapidly than those living paycheck to paycheck. But it's crucial to remember that leverage amplifies both gains and losses. The wealthy reduce this risk by ensuring the income generated from the asset adequately covers the debt payments, even in downturns. The final rule establishes the basis of essential financial literacy: focus on assets, not liabilities. Defining the terms. To grasp this rule, we should use the simplest definitions by financial experts. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. The middle class illusion. The middle class frequently traps itself by purchasing liabilities mistakenly considered assets. A perfect illustration is a brand new car. The moment it leaves the dealership, its value decreases significantly. It incurs ongoing expenses like insurance, fuel, maintenance, and registration. It represents a pure liability as it consistently drains money from your funds. The wealthy concentrate on acquiring true assets that appreciate or yield dividends, stocks and index funds. Provide fractional ownership of profitable corporations. Real estate generates monthly rental income and long-term appreciation. Intellectual property or businesses produce passive royalties and cash flow. The life cycle of wealth. When an individual focused on wealth earns money, they immediately invest in assets. These assets subsequently create their own income streams. Eventually, the asset income grows large enough to cover luxury expenses like cars, vacations, or designer clothing entirely. In contrast, the average person buys luxury items first through hard work, leaving no capital to invest in assets. The wealthy, however, prioritize asset acquisition, allowing those assets to fund luxuries later. In summary, the 3 invisible rules of money are: invest before you spend by automating your savings. Use debt wisely to acquire income-generating assets. Prioritize assets that appreciate rather than liabilities that drain your cash flow. Shifting your mindset from consumer to investor takes time and requires consistent, intentional decisions with every paycheck. However, applying these 3 structural principles provides the exact roadmap to achieving genuine, lasting financial freedom. Are you ready to transform your mindset about money? Choose one rule to implement this week, whether it's setting up a small automatic $20 transfer to an investment account or reviewing your existing debts. If this breakdown resonated with you, hit the subscribe button, enable notifications, and share it with someone eager to enhance their financial journey. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.